Hey guys, you're welcome back to my channel. I'm just about to show you how to make this waistband that is showing on the screen. So first off, you would have to divide the waist into the parts you're seeing on the waistband, just like I say I'm doing. The first part is just 5 inches, the center piece is 6 inches, and the last part is 7 inches. So it's not like it has a standard measurement you're going to use, but you're going to make sure you're replicating what you're seeing on the picture, trying to get as much similar sizes, just like how the picture looks. So this I have measured, and the next thing we will do is get our clothes gum. I use a very light cloth gum to make my waistband because it gives it durability, it makes it last long. So okay, for the extension, for the overlapping of the waistband, I just added 3 inch and then marked my 5.5 inch, sorry, not 5 inch, it's 5.5 inch. So I marked my 5.5 inch and then an extra 3 inch ahead of it for the overlapping. So you can see the center piece is 6 inch. So you're not just using the 6 inch, you're adding 1 inch extra for allowance, for sewing allowance. Just stay with me as we go on. You will get to understand why all these things are being cut like that, and then the reason for it. So the end is 7 inch. So you cut according to how I'm showing you. So the beginning part, you're not adding any sewing allowance because you're not sewing on the gum. The end part, you're not adding any sewing allowance. Just the center piece, you're adding half inch to the both sides for sewing allowance. Then you carefully cut it out. You cut out. So meaning the last part is 7 inch, the center piece is 6 inch, but plus the half inches makes it 7 inch, and then it looks the same. It's the same with the back piece. So your waist and the waist of the trouser you're making, the waist of the pant you're making, will determine the size of what you will be cutting for the clothes gum. So you don't just go and use this particular measurement for yours. You make sure that you're using the waist to get your size. So it's not like I'm measuring anything here. I'm just trying to use the tape to get the shape of the curve I want to mark for the overlapping of the trouser. So the overlapping is not just straightforward, it has a curve on it. So I'm just getting a slanty line so I can just do my curve. So as you can see, this is for the overlapping. This is how the curve looks. So you don't have to make it curve. You can actually make it triangular. You can make it could be rectangular, as much as you want. So from this point I mark, going to the end of the curve is for the overlapping. So you see, checking the center, making sure it's the same, 6 inch, 7 inch for the back, and then the front we already know it's 5.5. but now the other side is having an overlapping, then this side is having an extra because it has the facing for the zip that is going beneath. So it's longer than 5.5 because it's having an extra that would go under the overlapping. So you still cut. That means the 7 inches for the other side, for the left side, would be the same 7 inches for the right side, except for the side with the overlapping under. So now this triangular shape, just stay close, I would show you what we'll use it for. as the video goes on. So just pay attention and see how all these things are done. Okay, as you see, this is what I'm trying to say. There's overlapping under for the zip. That's for the zip flap. It added to the 5.5. So we're done cutting all the clothes gum. The next thing is to gum them on the fabric for the waistband. So if you're still yet to subscribe to my channel, just press the subscription button and also the notification bell to be notified. Please press, as it helps us improve everything we do daily. Your subscription gives me the mental strength to keep on producing good content for you. So just do well, like, comment and share our video so we can grow and keep creating more good content and tutorials for you. So as you can see, we're gumming the clothes gum on the fabric for the waistband. So you make sure you interface it very well, like you gum it well, so you can match the lines with the trouser. It's fine. But if you're not having a lot of fabric left, like as you can see, I'm not having much fabrics left, so I'm carefully using my fabrics not to run short of fabrics. So you check your lines, make sure they're standing straight, and since the trouser is a striped trouser, so we're gumming the last piece since the other piece could not take all the gumming. One of the important things is to make sure that all your pieces are properly interfaced, like they are properly gummed down. So after gumming your cloth gum, you would carefully trim the excess edges. Just trim it with an half-inch allowance is fine, but if half-inch is not too comfortable for the part you're going to put the waistband for you can make it 0.75, but half-inch is still pretty fine. So remember, I said we're adding allowance to the center piece on the clothes gum. So the one you added allowance on the clothes gum, you're just going to cut it without extra material allowance. But those ones you didn't add allowance on the clothes gum, you are adding extra material allowance on them so that you sew on the fabric. So now you are interfacing with paper stay, with a paper gum on this particular piece for the buckle holder. So now I'm going to arrange this center piece. Mind you, this center piece is the piece we added half-inch allowance, which was 6, and then we added half-inch to make it 7. So this is the center piece. So you're folding the upper side because the buckle is laying on this center piece. So you press the top, and then now you arrange for a buckle. You do all the side taps. So it's called, we call it buckle, but the ideal name for it is their side taps, so, or adjusters. So you arrange this for the side taps, and then the buckles are those irons you're going to use. So this is not the direct iron buckle used on the trouser, but on the pants, but we're going to use this for the tutorial's sake, if you understand how to use this, using the other one would not be a problem. The difference is just the center piece, the center iron are double for the other one, but this is single. So you're trying to check the length of the adjuster you'll be needing. So you can just cut it at 7 inches, same as the center piece you'd be using. So I will not be using any extra gum for this, like using a cloth stay, because I've interfaced it with the paper stay already. This pattern I drew out, I'm just using it to draw the pattern out, draw the line out, so as it serves like a guide for me when sewing around the shape, trying to get the shape. I'll just sew along the line I just drew now. So the same thing on the other part. You make sure you draw the lines, and the line should be straight, visible and accurate, because this line you're drawing, they are the guide for you to get a perfect shaped tappers, side taps. So now for the other part of the adjuster, you just cut a straight piece, and I'm dividing the piece by 2. So just watch carefully. This is self-explanatory. I'm going over it to speak so you can understand more. So we're going to fold the piece. Going to fold the piece. So you press and make sure it's accurately done and neatly done as well. So after pressing, you check it on the hook or the buckle, as you check and make sure that the size is what you want. Make sure it's not sagging by the side, like it's not completely. Make sure that you don't have it halfway full in the buckle. Make sure it's full, and then it's not folding at the center. Like make sure it's just accurate. Like check this is accurately and neatly done. Line flat, not folding. So now we're going to sew this round. So this is after sewing. Make sure your stitches are not inside the lines you drew, but a bit outside, like just immediately after the line you drew with the pen. So you trim by the sides. You trim not too small and not too much. You just trim, let's say, with a 0.25 allowance. So now you sprinkle water on it before you fold it, as making sure the folding would give you a fine edge. So you fold, you carefully fold, and then use your clapper to hold it down. Use your clapper to hold it down. So you fold round. This folding helps you to have a fine edge when you turn these adjusters. If you don't fold it, you'll be struggling to have it have the shape of the tip you created. whether the tip is a pointed tip or a curvy tip, as long as you fold it with iron, it gives you a fine edge. Stress free and neat. Okay, as you can see, I just folded it and it's giving me a good edge already. So all you need now to do is voila, just press. So you're pressing without stress and it will lie down very clean and fine. So now the next thing you also do is to make sure that this also sit right. If it doesn't sit right, you have to repeat. So you can see it is sitting very okay. It's not having any sagging and it's not more than the size. So we've done for the two, and the next thing is you'll be placing them on this piece you just arranged. So you place them and arrange as you will want it to be sitting, but just make sure that the side you'll be adjusting has a wider length, a longer length, so as you would be able to adjust, not it having the shorter length. So the side that is just holding the buckle could have the shorter length. So I've gone to the machine, I've stitched sides, and you can see where all my stitches are, so you can replicate when doing yours. So this is for the centerpiece. We're done with the centerpiece. So now we're carrying the last piece and also the front piece. We're folding the top like that. You just fold the top part, fold the top part. So this one, since both the left and right are the same thing, you don't really check. You wouldn't have any error even if you use any part, since the left and right are the same. But for the outer part that is having that overlap, which is curved, you have to check which side is, like for this, you have to check which side is supposed to be folded. Like you can just see what I did. So this is the upper part. So we folded. Now we're going to attach. This is for the inner part. You will see what it will be used for. So you have to stay to the end of the video to understand the usage of that. So now we'll attach this. We'll attach. So I did one little error, and because I didn't check something, but I want you to wait to see the error I did, because I'll be explaining to you why it happened and how to solve it in case if you come across that same error. So you have to trim these edges I trimmed, so that when you fold the waistband, it will sit very well, even at the place you are joining the piece. If you don't cut that edge, it will be too thick at the tip there. So you press, you make sure it's pressed down. So now we're back to the trouser, so we can fix. So you lay the trouser carefully. So before trimming, you make sure your zip is down, not trim the top of the zip head. So you make sure you lie down your trouser very well before trimming this part. I just trim. Make sure you're lying it flat, and then I'm trimming this overlapping. This under the flap, under the zip flap under. So I'm trimming it. So this is you can see the top part, the lines are aligning, and I'm checking how the lines are. So the next thing is to fix it. So this part I'm joining a lining, the pocketing I used, so as I reduce the thickness. I don't want to use the whole fabric. I don't want it to be completely thick. So now we're going to the machine to attach. So you make sure you are setting the marking first. You set the marking and then you sew. You just attach it. So you make sure you sew and you maintain your sewing allowance. Make sure everything is lying flat. Any of the excess, you cut it out. So you make sure you don't sew over the flap. Don't sew over the flap, so as the flap can be folded inward accurately. So for this smaller part, you can see you're joining with the flap inside. You're joining with the flap. Since the waistband is not going inward, it's just staying outward, so you need what is covering it to go back inward. So you're using that triangular shape or pentagon shape you've cut to do that. So after you've sewn the down part, you would now sew it round to get the shape. So you follow it carefully. As you can see what I'm doing, you make sure you are sewing it accurately. I pinned it down so that it doesn't move. So it was not getting comfortable to sew it all through. So I had to stop and then start from the other side. So you have to turn it this way to get the perfection you need. And then you turn the overlap. You can see how fine it looks. Make sure you cut out every excess thread. Sorry for going out of the frame at some point. Maybe my setup, I was shifting a bit. So back to what I was telling you, the error I did, as you just keep watching. Now when fixing the adjusters, the side tabs, you have to make sure you check where the adjuster is facing. It's not supposed to face frontward, it's facing backward. So as you can see, I did it facing frontward. So now I have to change the direction to face backward. So I have to loosen the adjuster, loosen just the adjuster, not the whole band, and then turn the adjuster, fix it in, and it doesn't take long time. Make sure you ensure beauty and accuracy and perfection in your job. So just do well to check my description for more good content that you can learn from. As you've seen, this we've adjusted it and it's fine. Or tap on your screen on the videos that are displaying so as you can watch another good video to learn from. This is our waistband. It's looking so demure.